Right. What are your 10 favourite books and why? This is one I've actually had to look at because when I looked at it, I was like, because I haven't read in ages, or I haven't kind of seriously sat down and read in a while. So I was kind of really trying to scratch my head for things, and then every time I came up with this, like, why didn't I think of this before? So number one, the Bible. I am a Christian, so I think that has to go there. And I'm sure some people will go, but there's so many. I know, like, there's this thing like, oh, there's so many kind of contradictions in it, and what I've had people say that to me, and then I've gone, okay, name one, and it's not a kind of, and then it's the whole, oh, but you should be able to put forward your argument for why you believe. It's like, well, then put forward your argument for why you believe there's a contradiction, and there's a few where it's at first glance there could be a contradiction. I'm not going to dispute that, but this is going into a fairly kind of different place than I thought it would. We should be looking at context and everything, right? Moving on, number 2. A book on a topic that I've already mentioned, which is King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table by Roger Lancelyn Green. And this book in particular is the oldest book I still have. I had it in primary school, and it's one of the reasons I really like Arthurian legend. It's really brilliantly written, and I do read it. I think I read it twice last year, actually. I know I said I don't normally read. I think I read it twice on the camp I'm one of the leaders of. It's for 11 to 14s. And it was why I didn't upload last year over 1 week in August, is because I was on camp. And I read it twice, and I enjoy it, and there are some of the stories that I can probably tell off the top of my head. Right, number 3, so this hasn't got any kind of story or narrative to it, well, to an extent, and that is the complete book of Captain Scarlet, which is looking at the show. For those that don't know Captain Scarlet, the basic plot of that is in the year 2067 or 9 or something, humans find a city. It's like a ruined city on Earth. No, on Mars. That's the one. On Mars. And there are technological marvels there, as there always are. Except this time, in this one, the city isn't that badly ruined, and it has scanners that the aliens have crafted to look a bit like guns, for some reason. And the Martian exploration vehicle, for some reason, has some kind of weapon, and it sees this these scanners turning to scan them. And it fires on the city. Now, these... Corliss? Why is that name familiar? Is this Jacob's one? Garbage Scow. Cycling Center. Why is this? I don't know. But the Mysterons, which are the aliens there in the city, have the power of retro-metabolism, which means that if something's destroyed, they can bring it back to life under their control. And they do that with a character called Captain Black, who's a member of Spectrum, as is Captain Scarlet. And basically, it's a book which goes through, like, the stories of each episode and kind of which characters are in it, what the basic plots are, if there's any kind of goofs in the... recording or in the show or whatever. I find it interesting because I'm a complete nerd. Number 4, Moonraker by Ian Fleming. The book is far superior to the film, and it is essentially, and it is, it's also better than the book that was written by Anthony Horowitz, which to me feels very much like a rip-off of it, which would be Stormbreaker. The basic plot is during World War II, Hugo Drache, I believe that's how you'd pronounce it, is captured by an allied. Sets off a bomb in an allied with help from a group that he was working in. Bombs an allied, basically an allied army camp. And no, where was it? And he gets caught in the blast. But there is someone missing called Hugo Drax, and so he takes that name, and he creates a missile system called the Moonraker, and he's using that to kind of be like, oh yes, look, I'm gonna, because it's set during the Cold War, of course. So only Britain will have access to this missile, and we will be safe from US or Russian incursions. But we're still testing it, testing the targeting and everything. And basically, he set it up so that it will. No, we don't want to be here. It's poor. It will bomb London in revenge for the fact that Germany lost the Second World War. It's far better than I'm kind of explaining it as. It's okay. What is this?
Probe away.
What's this?
I have found something.
A mission. Surface scans indicate wreckage of a merchant freighter. No configuration unknown. Can I come back to this later? Maybe. That's something we can think about. So yes, that's Moonraker. Number 5. Sherlock Holmes: The Complete Stories by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I think this is the one that really started me thinking. It's a great series, to the point where a lot of times I've read it enough, or I've seen versions of it enough. In particular, the Jeremy Brett series, which is impeccable and wonderful. To the point where you give me the title, and there's a good chance I can probably tell you what the plot, a vague sense of the plot. Who did what, who did it, and so on. Oh, I need more probes. Boo. I'm gonna have to go get more probes. No. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and get more probes. Ymir. Right, so yeah, Sherlock Holmes is brilliant. I mean, I don't like who's in the film? Is it Robert Downey Jr.? Ugh, not a fan of that. I think it's also, I'm not a huge fan of the Basil Rathbone series. For similar reasons, is they've taken the character and they've twisted it in a way that I don't think the character works. That's my view. Right, next one would be The Night Watch by Terry Pratchett, which is... Oh, no, there's still stuff I was looking at here. I quite like it. I think it's also the idea of... I don't know, I want to say like the lesser good, if you follow me. Or the smaller good, maybe, would be a better phrase. Where he knows he's got to fight against history. The greater good, but then you're condemning all these people to die and he can't do it. And I quite like that. He's just going to fight on because that's what he should do in that moment. And I like Terry Pratchett's Discworld stuff, most of it. Anyway, I also have like Thief of Time, that's quite good. Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. That was probably a bit of a waste of a probe. Let's do more research. Obviously that's kind of a classic when it comes to fantasy stuff. I mean, I like Gandalf. He's basically Merlin. Shotgun shield piercing. Shield piercing, not armor piercing. Okay. Okay, we will get that. So always I quite like that. It's a classic kind of long journey. I can't get anything with that. Okay. Or can you give me something new? Do I get no? Okay. I mean, a lot has been said about it. I've ranted about the. I've complained about the films in the LEGO Lord of the Rings Let's Play, so I won't do more here. Enter orbit, and we'll start the scan around Anhor. So yes, Lord of the Rings. Next one. This one doesn't involve any kind of story at all. Well, there might be a few in there. It is a book called Poetic Voyages, which I don't know if it's still a thing, but it was when I was in my last year of primary school. It was a competition that you entered, and I think it was all over. I think it was all over Britain, and in your area, your poem would be published. And I have my copy of that. And so I'm a published poet. Once when I was 11. So yes, a little bit about me that you probably didn't know. I'm technically a published poet. Then this one. I've had this book for ages as well. The Encyclopedia of Things That Never Were. It's an encyclopedia of various fantastical things, like King Arthur and the Knights Round Table. I think there's a couple of pages on dragons, various different kind of fairies and brownies and goblins and whatnot. Red caps, I believe, basilisks, cockatrices. Absolutely mental book. It basically talks about various things, almost kind of like as an encyclopedia, as if they're real to an extent. So it's quite fun. And finally, and I realised that towards the end I've kind of rushed through some of these, the Chronicles of Narnia, and I'm kind of cheating and putting them all in. Where it's, I mean, I haven't read it. I haven't read that series in a while. Oh, those bars don't fill up. I thought they were a maximum. They're obviously not. So yeah, there's still some good stuff. Piece of bikes from places, I think. Chronicles of Narnia. It's a great series. It is by C.S. Lewis, who's a Christian, and it is meant as a Christian allegory. I think so's Lord of the Rings to an extent, from what I remember reading. I could be incorrect there. I think they were both Christians. Tolkien and Lewis. So those are my 10 favourite books, and I kind of rushed through them all. Right. How do you choose the games that you play? I have a pile of index cards with nearly every game I have. I mean, some of them are like, I'm never gonna let's play that, so I haven't got a card for it. But what I'll do is when I need to pick a new let's play, is I will go through it and I'll kind of shuffle out the ones I don't want to play, and then I'll start pairing things off and going, okay, which one of these do I want to make a let's play of? And then okay, so then I've halved the pile, and then okay, out of these ones, which do I want to make a let's play of? And so on and so on and so on. And I'll keep going until there's only one left, and then that's often the one I do. Sometimes I go, nah, I don't want to do that, and then I do it again and come up with a slightly different result. So yes, so blame the cards in my own mood, time by time. So I kind of flip between games that I want to do. So sometimes I'll want to do a particular one, and then I'll give it a play and go, actually no, I don't want to do this. Squad bonus, 50% more submachine gun rounds. Extra rounds for the shotgun. Oh. What? Requires one more assault rifle damage upgrade to unlock, so we have to get that somewhere else. I'm not going to get that. So submachine gun, extra rounds. That might be something we have to buy, actually. We want more platinum for those two. That one needs more palladium. What other options we got? Biotic cooldown. Yes, we will get that. Emergency shielding. Platinum. Trauma module? Platinum. Palladium. Platinum. But we will get that. Medbay upgrade. Change the scarring we have. Modern Omni tool. The cane. A lot of iridium there. A nuke launcher. It's probably amazingly powerful. Do I want the submachine gun extra rounds? I don't really want the submachine gun extra rounds anyway. We'll get the cane. We'll try it out. So yeah, various things affect what games I play as well.
Would like to speak with you, Commander.
Where the cards go. So sometimes if I see someone I've subscribed to has started a particular Let's Play, then that has a knock-on effect, because there's no point in... I don't really want to kind of cannibalize other people's views. And to an extent, I also don't want them cannibalizing mine as well. Which makes it sound very kind of like, oh, this is about money. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, I don't want to... I don't want to make... Some people might go, oh, I don't want to watch this, I don't want to watch that. And I think it's also... sometimes when I'm planning on doing a... This is it. Sometimes when I'm planning on doing a game, especially if it's blind, which most of my Let's Plays are, I don't want to watch someone else play it. So, if it's someone I'm subscribed to, then that basically means I no longer want to watch them doing a particular video. And sometimes, like, I know I do it, is I'll talk about my other Let's Plays and where I am in them, in various things. Like, I think in Oblivion, I think I did one session where I tried to name all my Let's Plays, and I forgot about Oblivion while Let's Playing Oblivion. Would that make me oblivious? Probably would. So that affects it. Sometimes, if someone suggests it, that affects where it comes. Sometimes it doesn't. It depends on my mood and how I'm feeling, as to what I do. Also, like the fact I'm currently doing... Let's fly through the sun. I'm sure that won't go badly for us. The fact that I... Only moderate A. The fact that I've got... Oh, I need more probes. Boo. The fact that I'm currently doing... How many am I doing? 4 RPGs will have a knock-on effect as to what other... It will limit the number of RPGs I'll think about doing later. So, I'll be wary of doing another RPG, just because I'll get tired of it. Oh, yes, I'll get tired of doing all of them, possibly, and you guys might be tired of me doing 5, 6 RPGs. You might be tired of me doing 5 or 6 LPs, so... So yeah, there's various things that have an impact on what I do, and then I just fiddle through the cards and do various things for that. So yes, that's how I pick my Let's Play. I'll actually leave that one for later. Right, next question. Do you play tabletop RPGs? I do play tabletop board games. I don't play tabletop RPGs though. I played 2nd edition AD&D for about a year at university. It was very fun. I have a few on various shelves. I have Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 1st and 2nd edition. I have Pendragon 3rd and 5th edition. Out of those, I've only played Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 2nd ed. I've got Call of Cthulhu 6th edition, Horror on the Orient Express, which is the reason I have it, because I just love the idea of Horror of the Orient Express. And for Pendragon, the main thing I really like about it is it's the Great Pendragon campaign, which I've already mentioned. I have 2nd edition AD&D. I have a game called Aces and Eights, which is basically kind of a Western kind of RPG set in an alternate turn of the 20th century, where in the American Civil War, the Confederacy won, and the Southern states have seceded. So you have the you've got the CSA, the USA, you have I think Mexico still owns California, and you have the Republic of Texas as 4 different countries, and they all essentially border this one area of North America called the Cauldron. So it's fairly lawless, and there's rules for being in a jury, there's rules for court cases, there's rules for panning for gold, there's rules for running a business. It's a lot more sandbox than any other game that I'm aware of. Although obviously that requires more work from the GM, because they've got to be able to try and come up with interesting things for you regardless of what action you're taking. I have for first edition One Fantasy Roleplay, I've got the Enemy Within campaign. One thing I actually think might be an interesting idea is if you had kind of mixed games, so you kind of took 2nd edition AD&D as kind of a medieval, based on what I've got as a medieval rule set. One Fantasy Roleplay is kind of more Renaissance rule set. Call of Cthulhu is kind of 1920s kind of thing. Maybe going into the turn of the 20th century with Aces and Eights, and what's the other one I've got? Pendragon is kind of early medieval. You could do almost kind of Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem kind of dealy, where each player's got a different character in each world, and you flit between them doing things. I don't know. I just like that idea. But yeah, so I have a lot. I've not really played any. Partially because I've not really met any. I'm not great at making friends and meeting new people. So it'd probably be some Praying Mouth. Ugh. I'd be tempted to. It might be interesting to do it on Skype, but I find it difficult kind of staying up. And I mean, like a few guys, what was it? Ranger, Nicadia, Killswitch were like, oh, we could do it, but it was like going to be up late, and I don't do up late well. I don't do a lot of things well. My channel is a testament to that. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. I'd love to do it though. Not sure. I don't know. Something to think about. Maybe try and get back into stuff. Yeah, so that's that. Yes, something to think about. Penultimate question. What kind of game do you not enjoy and why? Not a huge fan of horror games, because I'm very easily scared at times, and also I have my brain is very easily just does things to me. Like I'll walk through a dark room, and if I've been thinking about something from a horror game in that day, it'll be like, yeah, the thing's gonna be there. Even things that I'm like, no, brain, that makes no sense. What are you talking about? Be like, yes, it's there, it's right there. So not a huge fan of horror games. Not a fan of first-person shooters, because they're kind of the a logical extension of using and needing reflexes and real-time thinking, and I'm not great at that. So I'm better at kind of turn-based, kind of slow-paced stuff. So like grand strategy, like Crusader Kings 2 and Europa Universalis 4, where you can just pause the game and think about things. That's, to me, easier than first-person shooters. Well, you can't really do that, especially in multiplayer. I'm also not a fan of multiplayer, but that's just kind of my natural antisocialness coming out there. So yes, I'm probably gonna do the research now. So there's those things, horror, first-person shooters. Then again, having said that, Vampire was incredibly fun, even though it was A, horror, and B, a first-person game with shooting. So there is that. Okay, the final question. How did you get into Let's Playing? I'm tempted to just say, I bought fraps, and leave it at that, but I know that's not the question that's being asked. Although it is tempting to say that. I'm just putting the questions back in the hat, just so they're not on my desk. Ooh. I want that for that, don't I? That's frustrating. Right. How did I get into gaming? Not into gaming, into Let's Playing. I need to actually think about this. I will think about this, and then I will say, because I don't want to be talking and thinking because that's talking about it and thinking because that's really going to mess up what I'm doing. Sniper rifles deal 50% extra headshot damage. So that's 25. So that's all. That's 25,000 palladium. So it's that shotgun extra rounds. This is platinum. Or wasn't there something in the? There might be something in prototypes. Krogan shotgun 15,000. We won't bother with that. Emergency shielding. Unity restores squad members' shields to full strength. Trauma. Unity heals your squad to full health. It would mean that they're not dying straight away afterwards. Shotgun extra damage. So I think what we'll do is we'll go with the armor upgrade. We'll go with the emergency shielding. Because I think the shields are probably more useful. They are more expensive, so that's one thing to go on. Let's get the rest of them. 50,000 platinum. I mean, it's basically a cosmetic thing by the sounds of it. Shepherd shields take 20% less damage. Right, okay. Okay, so yes. Basically everything that deals 20% less damage to it. That palladium heavy pistol critical. Is this palladium? Yes, this is palladium. Right, so squad bonus heavy pistols sometimes deal double damage. I think we'll just take the extra shields. And we have not got iridium for anything else, so we may as well just get this. So, the final question, how did I get into Let's Playing? I'd been thinking about it for a number of years. I remember watching, I like for ages, it's been the case that, I haven't spoken to Joker in a while. It's been, for a while it's been the case that most of my subscriptions have been to Let's Players, and we're gonna go up to our.
Would like to speak with you, Commander.
Gonna go up to the captain's cabin, and a lot of the time, it was I'd have a tough day and it'd be various Let's Players, kind of mostly people like, I think mostly Very Action Squee, who kind of cheered me up and gave me and made my day better. And I was thinking that it'd be great to have just be there, making silly videos, cheering people up, and then if I did it to one person, that'd be great. So that's kind of the general because I sometimes get down really easily. And after I graduated from university, I volunteered at a church for a year. The possibility of it going on to 2 years, that didn't work out. Kind of seeing what it was like to work for the church and see like being a minister, being a vicar at a church, seeing what that was like. And they said that if I wanted it, I should go to another church for the second year, somewhere else, and work on my social skills because they are lacking. And all the places I went to were like oh, you're obviously really well gifted, but we're going to say no. You're really gifted, but you struggle in social situations. Yes, that's why I'm going somewhere else. You're really gifted, but you have no experience with 11 to 14s, which is absolute nonsense. You're really gifted, but no. You're obviously really gifted, but no. No, we just don't want you. Basically, not giving a reason is one of the worst. And basically everywhere rejected me. And that got me really, really down. And I was unemployed, so I went to the job centre, and they're completely and utterly useless. And like, they're surprised that you have 7 A-levels. It's like, yes. You have a degree? Yes. Why are you here? Because I'm unemployed, and I'm looking for a job. And they fobbed me off, and basically told me that there was no chance I'd get a job because I didn't have any experience. Which is true. And I was then even more down, and more down, and more down, and more down, and more down. And I couldn't do things. I knew that playing video games would cheer me up. Because it does. Video games is fun. It's basically I get to be someone else. And I can pretend that I'm them, and that because they're happy, I can pretend I'm happy at times. And I will forget to edit that bit out. And I'd start playing a video game. But no, I wouldn't. This is the thing, is I would start a video game up on my computer. I'd get to the let's look at that. I'd get to the title screen, and I would just feel so down about everything that even though the reason I'd started up because I was feeling down, is I'd feel even worse just opening up the game. And I just think, you're not going to enjoy yourself. You're just going to feel horrible, and then you're going to end up hating this game. So I'd close the game. Then I'd feel worse because I felt worse, and I would feel really frustrated that I wasn't doing stuff that I knew I'd enjoy. And so I would then pick another game, and the same thing would happen. And then I'd pick another game, and the same thing would happen. And that got me even more down. That got me more and more down. And in the end, I just went, okay, the only way I can get myself to start playing video games again is to use my own brain against itself. My brain is trying to get me down. I'm going to use my own brain and my personality. So I don't like buying things and not using them, and I don't like letting people down. So buy fraps, and then I have to use it, so I record a video. I then pretty much immediately uploaded it to YouTube. And then at that point, I started a Let's Play, and I had to finish it, otherwise I'd be letting people down, even though no one was watching, but otherwise I'd be letting people down. And then I recorded, and then I started a second, and then here we are. And now I record because I'm keeping going, and there's still times when I feel down. Wow, that was my voice going weird. But there's still times when I feel down, and then I'll start recording, and I'll be like, oh, I don't feel like recording, but I need to record because otherwise I won't have any videos to upload. I won't have enough videos to upload. And then I'll start Let's Playing, and I'll feel happier because I don't know. I'm doing something I'm good at. Or I think I'm good at. You can correct me if you want. I'm having fun. I'm doing something I enjoy. I'm doing something I'm having fun with. I'm interacting with you guys to an extent, and you guys are fun. You guys are cool. You guys, yeah. So yeah, that's why I started. That's how I got into Let's Playing. It's why I started. Yes. Yeah. So it's been, what, about a year and a half? September, October, November, December, January, February. Really? Yeah. Nearly a year and a half. Nearly a year and a half. So I don't know when you started watching, but however long it's been, thanks for joining the ride. Thanks for watching. Really, I mean it. Thanks for watching.